Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, good to have you with us. So your candidate first in all the national polls, neck and neck in Iowa. Neck and neck in Iowa. You are taking, obviously, a risk by closing the door completely to appearing tomorrow night. Why take that risk?
Well, it's not neck and neck in Iowa. You know, the poll that came out today has Donald Trump winning 30-23 over his closest competitor. But it's not just the risk. It's about the issue of fairness. And, you know, Fox News decided to put out a statement which was completely inappropriate. They want to, taunt Mr. Trump about, Vladimir Putin and, dismembering the cabinet and listening to his Twitter followers. I don't think that's worthy of a top-tier presidential candidate to have to go through. And it's really on Fox News, and that's really what it comes down to. And so Mr. Trump has been the clear winner of the last 6 debates. He's won every national poll during those 6 debates, whether it's the Drudge Report or Time or Slate. They've all said he's been the winner. He was the clear winner of the last debate. So, it's very simple. He's able and willing to debate, but he's not going to do it if the network itself is not going to be fair. And let's just remember, when CNBC had moderators on who were unfair to the candidates, the Republican National Committee sanctioned them by removing NBC moving forward and giving CNN that debate instead, because fairness is important, and allowing the candidates to talk to the people directly and not having personal attacks is what a debate should be about.
All right, so the statement from Fox, just for those who aren't aware, as part of this, included in part saying, we learned from a secret back channel the Ayatollah Putin both intend to treat Donald Trump unfairly when they meet with him when he's president. And they went on to make a joke saying, well, I guess he'll ask his Twitter followers whether he should show up at those meetings. So it has been escalating nastily. You have said, though, Corey, that Mr. Trump will not change his mind, that this is done. He will not be there tomorrow night. Has Fox News' head Roger Ailes spoken to you or Mr. Trump since last night?
I've had no conversations with Mr. Ailes, and to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Trump has had no conversations with Mr. Ailes. As you know, we just put out a statement that says Mr. Trump is going to be at Drake University tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to raise money for the veterans of our great country who are treated like third-rate citizens. So we've got a full program. We've got hundreds of media credentialed people who are going to be there to hopefully cover Mr. Trump's event. We'll take care of our veterans because our country isn't doing that. The VA is a disaster, and it's time to put those people first. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, as opposed to participating in the Fox News debate.
And is that going to be broadcast on networks? Is that going to be something people can watch? What are your plans on that front?
Well, it's open to the media, and obviously, as all of Mr. Trump's speeches are, if the networks choose to come and cover that, we obviously would welcome that opportunity. It's open. If they want to live stream that, they're welcome to do that, as they do many of his speeches. And I hope they will do that, because I think the American people are going to look at that Fox News debate with a series of career politicians on that stage and say, you know what, this is not what we want. We want a leader. We want someone who's going to fix this. And so why bother watching a debate which is politicians who are all talk, no action? We'd rather watch a real leader in Donald Trump and what he's going to talk about.
So, Corey, New York Magazine today reported, and let me just quote from the magazine, Trump was not taking Ailes' calls after announcing the boycott. Trump advisors are privately telling people that he will only deal with Rupert Murdoch to resolve the dispute. Rupert Murdoch, of course, is Ailes' boss, the head of Fox News Corporation. Is this true, that this would now come down to Rupert Murdoch and Donald Trump?
No, I don't think so. I don't know of any conversation that took place between Mr. Trump and Rupert Murdoch, or for that matter, between Mr. Trump and Mr. Ailes. We've been very clear in our statements. Mr. Trump has been crystal clear that he's not going to participate in the debate. We've set up our own event at Drake University, so we hope that people come and watch that, and I think we'll have a much better viewership than what you'll see on the Fox News debate tomorrow night.
So obviously you've said this is about Fox News and being treated fairly, and it's not about Megyn Kelly specifically. So can you explain, Corey, so everyone can understand, why Mr. Trump is appearing in a Fox interview tonight?
Well, again, it's not specifically about Megyn Kelly, and Donald Trump has appeared on Fox, multiple times, hundreds of times potentially, since the course of this campaign has begun. And he's answered every single tough question that every moderator, including yourself, has brought to him, and he's won every debate. So this is not necessarily at war with Fox. That's not what this is at all. This is about being treated fair on the debate stage, and I don't think, based on the information that they put out during the last statement, that he could be treated fairly on that debate stage. And it's my obligation to Mr. Trump to ensure that he has an opportunity to talk directly to the American people. That's why we'll take that tomorrow night at Drake University.
I guess I just am trying to understand, though. You're saying this is about Fox News. He's just tweeting out, right? It's about this public PR statement that they put out, insulting him and how he would be as a world leader. But he is still going on Fox News tonight, right? I mean, it does seem a little bit confusing, you can see, right?
Well, it's not confusing at all. Obviously, Fox News is comprised of a whole series of anchors, and the event that he's doing tonight, the interview he's doing tonight with Bill O'Reilly, was long scheduled before this took place. He held to our commitment. They held to their commitment. So we did that as an obligation because we had made that promise. And when we make a promise, we keep it, except when people treat Mr. Trump unfairly. So instead of participating in the debate tomorrow, we'll do our own event. We'll raise money for veterans who so needily deserve it.
So Fox News mentioned you also, Corey, directly in their statement about Trump's decision. And in part, they wrote today in their statement, I'll quote them about you. In a call on Saturday with a Fox News executive, Lewandowski stated that Megyn, that refers to the moderator, had a, quote, rough couple of days after that last debate, and he would, quote, hate to have her go through that again. Lewandowski was warned not to level any more threats, but he continued to do so. We can't give in to terrorizations toward any of our employees. Did you make threats?
Look, not only did I not make threats, but the conversation with the Fox News executive, his daughter works for the Rubio campaign. He's one of the executives on Fox that write the debate questions. So, maybe he has his own ulterior motives. I'm not sure. But his daughter's a senior executive on the Rubio campaign. Maybe he should disclose that before he's writing the debate questions for Fox. There were no threats made. And the bottom line is this isn't about me and it's not about Megyn Kelly. It's about the way that Fox News, put out a statement about Mr. Trump, which was wholly inaccurate and unfair. And it's very difficult to treat someone fairly when they're the GOP frontrunner and you put out a statement like that.
So you're saying this is Fox News, that they have someone who's dealing with all of the negotiations, who's actually supporting and advising Marco Rubio?
No, what I said was that Fox News executive who oversees the debate process, their daughter is a senior executive on the Marco Rubio campaign, is what I said.
Their daughter. Okay. Ted Cruz is obviously going to be there tomorrow night, and now this could be a make or break moment for him. He could break out because he doesn't have Donald Trump to fight. It might not work that way, but it might. He is challenging Donald Trump to a one-on-one debate. And I know Donald Trump tweeted today, okay, in Canada, obviously making a joke of it. But is this a challenge that he would ever accept if it continues to be Donald Trump and Ted Cruz in this race?
Of course. Look, at the end of this race, it's going to come down to two candidates for the Republican nomination at some point. If Ted Cruz is fortunate enough to be that second candidate, then we'll be happy to debate him one-on-one at any debate stage that is available to us under the rules of the Republican National Committee. So if Ted Cruz is the last man standing next to Donald Trump, we'll be happy to debate him. What this comes down to is Ted Cruz's campaign has been desperate. It's been falling apart in the state of Iowa. He's talked about how great his ground game is and how many people he has on the ground, and his poll numbers continue to drop because people are starting to question if he even has the legal right to run for president of the United States. Potentially he should go and get a declaratory judgment from the courts to make sure that that question is put aside before people start voting on Monday in the caucuses.
One final question for you, Corey. Mr. Trump tweeted today one other thing about the moderator, Megyn Kelly. Let me just quote the tweet. He wrote, "I refuse to call Megyn Kelly a bimbo because that would not be politically correct. Instead, I will only call her a lightweight reporter." Of course, Mr. Trump has twice retweeted messages in which others called Kelly a bimbo. He was heavily criticized at the time for not sounding presidential at the least. Why use that language? Why put the word bimbo anywhere near this tweet?
Well, he didn't use that language. He said he wasn't going to use that language. And so, the tweets speak for themselves, but he said he wasn't going to do that. His opinion is that Megyn Kelly is a lightweight, and he's entitled to that opinion, of course. And his tweets always speak for themselves, and I know you carry them all the time live, and so we'll let them stand.
Right. Corey, I have to say, though, if you're not going to call someone a bimbo, you don't write, "I refuse to call them a bimbo." You just don't do it.
Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion, and what he said was very clearly that he believes he's a lightweight. He believes she's a lightweight reporter. He said that very clearly, and that's his opinion.
All right. Well, Corey, thank you very much. I appreciate your taking the time to be with us. Corey Lewandowski, as we said, the campaign manager for Donald Trump.